Hello everybody, Imminent Storm here, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3, our Germany tutorial playthrough. In my last episode, you may have noticed that I ran into a little bit of a audio-video sync issue. It's actually something that I've been kind of fighting with for the last couple episodes. Episode 3 I managed to kind of work around it a little bit, but episode 4 I just could not get things to line up properly. So I've worked on my settings some more, and I think I've got it licked. So hopefully we won't run into that same problem this episode. Alright, so in terms of the actual game in the last episode, we assigned the AI to control the Polish front. We got some more units produced, got a lot of technology worked on. We annexed Austria and the Sudetenland, and we're waiting to get the rest of Czechoslovakia. Nationalist Spain won their war in Spain. Japan fought their war with China, and achieved their war goal, so they've annexed a large chunk of nationalist China. And we're just kind of moving along, trying to get units built out, and getting ready for war. Alright, so let's get this stuff started up here. Now, one other thing that we were kind of left over from last episode is I was trying to sort out what to do with this little pile of divisions here. And I've thought about it, and what I want to do is I want to actually move these over to the French front. So I'm going to move them over here, and just get them over there, because what I want to do is I want to use these guys to kind of reinforce the northern end of the Maginot Line, or what's going to eventually attack the Maginot Line here. It's because when we get our units, when we get the Maginot Line cut off, we're going to need to kind of push against it from the north. That's what my plan's going to be, to push against it from the north. And having a few extra units over here is going to be helpful. So one other thing that we did get done is we got our self-propelled artillery. So what I want to do is I want to set up some new divisions here of armor with our self-propelled artillery, these guys right here, and the motorized infantry. Okay, so that's what we want. We want 5 of those guys. We'll produce those. Alright, and then we also want motorized infantry with tank destroyers and self-propelled artillery. We want 5 of those as well. And what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to push the planes, I think, to the bottom. We're going to kind of reorganize the queue a little bit here. So we're going to push the planes to the bottom. And then what we're going to do is we're going to push the... ships underneath, below the planes. Okay, so we're going to do that. Alright, so now we have the last Panzer Division we need. We have this set of motorized infantry, and then we're going to have panzers, we have more infantry, and then we're going to start working on our air force, and then we're going to get to our ships. Alright, so let's see what those alerts were all about here. Capital ship main armament advance, battleship anti-aircraft armament, battleship engine, armor, industrial efficiency, industrial production. Very good, very good. Alright, so now I want to look at that industrial. Okay, they're 1940, so there's no real point to putting those up there. We got our battleships and capital ship guns up to 1940. Super heavy battleships, I'm not going to worry about those at all, so I'm not going to worry about that. So what I should actually be able to do is go here, check my battleships, and we have Bismarck-class battleships now. So I want to take 2 of those, start their production, and then I have the Bismarck and the Tirpitz in the queue. So, actually, what I want to do is I want to slide these guys back down. Bismarck, Tirpitz, and then the Scharnhorst and the Gneisenau and all the rest. Alright. Keep things rolling here. And what I also probably do want to do here is just to throw them in the queue so that we get them, we don't forget about them, is we have Marines now. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make these just piles of Marines. I'm not going to get the combined arms bonus on that, but I want to make sure that they maintain, if you look up here, the terrain, that we get the amphibious attack. Because if I throw anything else in here, like an armored car, it ruins our, the improved amphibious attack that these guys get. So I want to make a core's worth of them. I just want to get them in a queue, because I'm going to use those to some effect in some specific situations later. Alright. Electronic Engineering Research Advance. Okay, that's good. Why are we still saying we have 10 wasted IC? Okay, good. Alright, we're still waiting for that 5th Panzer Division to get done. Alright. And no new chemical engineering, oil refining. Actually, one thing I want to do also here is Romania. I want to look at them. I want to see where they're aligning. I want to influence them. I want to try and push them in. Heavy tank brigades! Oh, yes. Okay. Alright. Technology. Armor. Get these bad boys queued up. Alright. So actually, what kind of heavy tanks are we going to be starting with? There'll probably be some prototype here. VK3001H's. Okay, yeah. Some really early prototype heavy tank here that I don't think ever actually left a drawing board. But that's what we got to start with. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set up a division worth of heavy armor. We're just going to stick it at the bottom of the queue because at this point we don't really need them. And let's go with those self-propelled artillery. Yeah, big expensive units. We're just going to throw them in the bottom of the queue. Yeah, look at that, 44.86 IC. That's pretty nuts. And we'll get around to them, hopefully before we start war with Russia. Oh, and there's our 5th Panzer Division. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, we're going to put these guys down over here. And we're actually going to grab one of these cores, bring them down here. That's what? The 6th Army Corps. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's attach these guys to the 6th Army Corps. 6th Army Corps. Okay, so they're all there now. And actually, let's redeploy him directly on top of that stack. Okay, so that is good there. Alright, now what we need to do is we need to get these guys produced. These motorized infantry. And then we've got the next set of panzers already under production here. Alright. Anything else we can look at? Rocket artillery? That's not that important just yet. I guess we could probably throw these destroyer technologies in here. And the sea submarine techs. Just get those thrown in the queue. Heavy cruiser, anti-aircraft guns. Oh, we actually got these aircraft carrier techs. January of 39, they say. Well, what kind of aircraft carriers do we currently have? Basic carrier. Okay. Maybe we'll just wait one more tech. I'm not going to have those ready for the war, at least for the beginning of the war, but they'll be out eventually. I'm just going to let these things roll. And alright. Still waiting for the event that's going to give us the rest of the Czech Republic, and then it's going to puppet Slovakia here. Formula of more trade agreements. Production going. Let's see. They're going to be October. By the time those are done. And assault concentration events, infantry warfare. Okay, we're just letting things roll. Because what we just need now is to get those units built. Now, Czechoslovakia cancel our most general trade agreement. And what I probably actually want to do is create a new army here, because I'm going to need another new army anyway. Let's get this assigned to the first army group. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's probably what we're looking for. The first Vienna Award. Hungary's claim on the southern parts of Carpathian, Rus, and Slovakia. Hitler gave Hungary's permission to annex the remaining lands of Carpathian Rus, thus re-establishing historic borders between Hungary and Poland. Okay, we gain another 5 in descent. Relations with France. Yeah, everyone's not going to like me for doing that. Alright, we're doing it. We're going to annex Czechoslovakia. Alright. Alright, so the United Kingdoms are now guaranteeing the independence of Poland. So if we attack Poland, the United Kingdom is going to declare war on us, which, you know, we're already expecting that. Alright, so yep, there we go. We got all that chunk. I'm surprised that didn't come. Oh, it came with another interceptor. Oh, interesting. Let's get that guy over there. Get him merged in. Oh, what's this? What's this? Production license inquiry. They want to build Junkers Ju-87B Stukas. Okay. Yeah, go right ahead. Because they're actually now our puppet. So, if we look at our, say we have a true Slovakia, and then we have a puppet Slovakia. So, basically a puppet regime. And now Hungary's got this little chunk of land over here. And we got one of the motorized infantry divisions done. And let's just keep this thing rolling, because it's... Alright, they will soon be... Oh, France is mobilizing. South Africa has been accepted into the Allies. Poland is mobilizing. I'm not going to be able to catch them unmobilized. I'm going to have to do that at some point as well here. But I want to hold off mobilizing until I'm ready. because it's really expensive. And actually something else I wanted to do over here. Because the AI has put these guys over there, which is really weird. Should be alright. Should be alright. I was not going to worry about it. So I'd have to redefine the way that whole H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds radio. Alright, so another historical event there with no real repercussions. Alright, so let's go ahead and get these motorized infantry down. And again, we want to grab one of these loose corps commands. That's the 12th Army Corps. So let's go ahead and assign these guys over to the 12th Army Corps. There we go. Okay, so we're all stacked up here on the border. Now, one other thing I wanted to do is, now I got these new units involved, I need to check and make sure. Okay, yes, 6th Army Corps. Yeah, these guys actually need to get attached to the 2nd Army, and so do these guys. There we go. And so now these Army Corps don't have any leaders. So I just need to grab some leaders here and get some leaders assigned. So let's get you guys in there. You in there. Oh, wait. No. What? Why is the 12th Army Corps showing up in there twice? That's weird. A bug, I guess. Okay, so actually, was there any other... Yep, this Army Corps here, he doesn't have a leader. Finland canceled a whole bunch of trade agreements right there, that's weird. Okay, let's make sure that we get all these guys, make sure they have leaders. And this guy, he doesn't have a leader, but he doesn't have any units, but he's gonna get some units connected to him at some point. So let's go ahead and we'll just throw that guy. Alright. Venezuela. I'm worried about my Air Force. Heavy tank engine. Very good. Soviet Union, something there. Heavy tank armor. Heavy tank reliability. Should be heavy tank gun. Right? Heavy tank gun? Heavy tank gun, yeah. December 1st. That might get me up to another prototype tank, probably. Oh, there's a heavy tank gun. Okay, so let's back this off. I'm going to take a look at the heavy tank stuff. 1939. Okay, so actually, I want to go ahead and queue those up and push those to the top. Infantry, 1940. Okay, so nothing else really need to worry about that there. Now, we should actually have a new model of heavy tank. So, we've got a brigade attachment, heavy armor. Yep, we're VK4501Ps. These are the prototype Porsche Tigers. They were one of the prototypes that was submitted by Ferdinand Porsche for the heavy tank competition that eventually yielded the Tiger tank. It it lost the competition for several different reasons. It had actually heavier armor than the eventual Tiger design that won, but it had some significant mechanical problems. For one thing, all that heavy armor made it heavier, and its tracks were actually too narrow to support the weight, so it tended to sink in soft terrain. Also, it used an untested diesel-electric hybrid motor system, where you had two diesel engines powering electric generators that would then drive electric motors, that just didn't work very well and broke down all the time and tended to catch on fire. So ultimately, the design failed. The hull design eventually did end up getting used. They had to change the drive system around, but it ended up getting used in the Ferdinand assault guns that eventually became known as the Elephants. Okay, Switzerland's aligned to the Axis. The hull design. But we probably actually won't see those because we'll probably get them upgraded to actual Tigers by the time they see the field. Okay. When's our production gonna be done? Okay, we're gonna get April. And no idea on these. I need to get those done. They have ground crew. Alright, so there's the first of the new Panzer Divisions coming out. Alright, so actually what I want to do... Italy annexed Albania. Okay. Alright, we can now invite Italy to the faction now. So we go ahead and invite to faction. There we go. Okay. And we got a new national decision. Claims on Memel. What happens here? German claims on Memel event. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. Okay, so that's actually what we're looking for right now. That's the pact between the Soviet Union and in Germany to split Poland and hand out the Baltic states. Okay, so what's going to happen here? I'm not sure that's going to send us to war right away or not. So actually, I'm going to hold off on those diplomatic events just yet, until I'm ready to actually go to war. So we're getting close. We're getting close. Carrier group doctrine. Okay, so at some point here we're gonna need to get Romania in the Axis as well. Aircraft carrier, aircraft carrier engine, aircraft carrier armor, aircraft carrier hangar. Okay, so there's our aircraft carrier stuff. They're all set to 38 now. I'll queue them up, but they're not important anymore because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build my get those carriers queued in. Once the carriers are in the production queue, none of the technology that you research subsequently are going to affect them. So, alright, so now we're looking at Graf Zeppelin class carriers. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to build 2 of those, throw this in the queue. Now, what you'll also see is it also queues up the CAGs, the carrier air groups, that are then going to be assigned to those carriers. So, those will come out eventually. And now we're 1939, we actually have more technology that we're going to need to push into the queue here. What do we want to do? I think we want to get infantry techs. We want to get ahead on that. We want to get ahead on I'm not going to worry too much about the light tanks, getting ahead on those, but the medium tanks are definitely going to push those forward. I'll put the light tank stuff in the queue, but I'm not really going to build too many more light tanks, so I'm not too worried about keeping those, you know, getting those ahead of schedule. So, let's see, anything else that we can get in there now that it's 1939? Okay, bomber technology, lots of it. Okay, how much twin inch aircraft armament? Not too worried actually about the bombers. I want to get all that stuff in the queue, but I'm not worried about pushing it ahead. Aero engine, now these I'm going to push for our interceptors. So I'm going to keep those. Education. Oh crud! I should have been paying more attention to that. I missed that. We'll get that up there. Radar. Again, get that up there. We're gonna kind of push some stuff off the bottom, but that's okay. $1940, heavy AA guns, rocket engine. Rocket engine? Yeah, let's put the rocket engine up. Let's see, what else? Just make sure that all this stuff gets queued back up. Anything else we need to put in there? Mechanized offensive. That's something we want. Okay. And all this, we'll queue this up, queue that up, all this stuff. Yeah, right. And make sure that this stuff is all still getting worked on. Okay. 146 projects in the queue, we can only research about 20 at a time. So, we'll get to a lot of that stuff when we get to it. Alright. February. Damaged forts of the Sudeten line of defense. Forts of the Sudeten line took great damage when Germany annexed Czechoslovakia, and they were almost entirely destroyed. The few still remaining are in dire need of repairs before they can be used for defensive warfare again. No need for repairs, they're useless now. So all those forts along the old Czechoslovakian border, we're just gonna let them go. We're not gonna worry about them because they're pretty much useless where they're located. Battleship. Spotting events. Okay, good. nationalist China is aligning themselves with the Axis. That's interesting. Alright, good. Well, we've actually got our planes being worked on. Got enough IC pushed down. And we're gonna get, hopefully, yeah, get some of these interceptors done. They're what I'm really concerned about, is getting those interceptors complete. Yugoslavia. One thing I might want to think about here is breaking up my fleets. This button allows you to split off fleets. What I want to do is I want to get these submarines onto their own fleet. Positioning penalty. Destroyers. Okay, that should be alright. I'm gonna keep those battle cruisers in there until we get some new battle cruisers out, the Scharnhorst and Gneisenau, because they're gonna be much better than those two guys. All right, so let's close those up. Let's move the submarine fleet to another port. Let's move them over to Hamburg here. I'm gonna make sure that this fleet gets a proper leader. I'm gonna take this guy. There we go. Oh, and there we got an interceptor. Put that down on the field, because he's probably got some upgrading to do. Alright. We're almost there. So, point strike tactics. Armor car gun. What I actually might want to do is separate out these interceptors. Alright, we're going to take first air wing interceptors. We're going to move them down here. French border. We're going to take these two interceptors. We're going to split those off. We're going to put them down here. I'm going to split these tactical bombers in half. Alright. So you got two squadrons of tactical bombers. We're going to put one here, and we're going to put another one. Actually, let's move these guys up to this airport. And we're going to move these tactical bombers into this airport. Alright. Heavy tank engine. The heavy tank stuff's already almost done. Tank engine. Yeah, they would be, wouldn't they? Yeah, they're almost done. Heavy tank armor. Reliability. Should be one more, right? Yep, there it is. Heavy tank guns. Okay. So now what we should have is, if we look at our heavy tanks, we have the Panzerkampfwagen 6H Tigers. So actual, real Tiger tanks. Quite possibly one of the most famous tank designs ever created. So actually what I want to do is I want to actually cancel these heavy armor divisions, because they're going to build with the old prototypes that we originally had, so I wasn't sure how quickly we were going to be able to get those upgraded. So now I want to build them again, but with now they'll have Tigers, so they won't have to upgrade as far. And then let's push these guys down. Actually, let's push these Marines down as well. Okay. Make sure that everything is balanced out here. Alright. Alright, so we got some more Interceptors. So, we've got 3 there, we've got 2 there. So let's take these 2, let's put them in Stuttgart and merge them up. And then we want to put these tanks down on the field. So we got tanks, tanks, tanks. We got one more corps here. That is the 17th Corps. So go ahead and we'll attach that. They're all connected. Okay, good. Alright, so we also have this 18th Armored Corps. We need to get this guy actually attached to the 2nd Army. Alright, so now that makes the 2nd Army full. So then new units are going to get put in the 5th Army. So what I actually want to do, I want to move these mountain divisions out into position. Alright, get those guys up on the line. Okay. We'll go along here. I'm not sure I'm actually going to get to the war by the end of this episode, but we're going to try and get as far as I can. Peru, anti-tank ammunition advance. I want to take a look at those tanks. Okay, they come out in 1940. Okay, so that's fine. We got one more set of units. These guys here, which I think I probably have enough air power now. I got those Interceptors to handle France. Let's see, July 19th is when the last of those is going to be done. Small fuel tank, single engine airframe, single engine aircraft armament. Okay, so we just need aero engine. When is aero engine going to be done? September. Because I don't think that's actually going to upgrade our... no, it's still 109Ds. And they won't actually upgrade to the next model until we get the aero engine. Alright, so... what we want to do is we want to get this production done. Carriage in sights. Just keep rolling, keep rolling. Watch, and okay, they're done. Right, so I think that's the last ground unit that I'm gonna have. Oh, and we got another Interceptor done. Let's go ahead, let's put it in there, merge those guys up. Alright, and then we want to get these motorized divisions on the field. I don't think I have any more loose cores, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make this a new core and then assign that to the 5th Army. Okay, so now that should be all the ground forces that we're going to need. to take down France and Poland. So we are probably ready to get this party started. Actually, these transport planes, I'm going to push those to the bottom. They're not that necessary at the moment. And they're just stupid expensive. So, yeah, they're just... I don't understand sometimes the way the IC is determined. So, a squadron of transport aircraft takes 29 industrial capacity, but an entire Bismarck-class battleship only takes 11.89 industrial capacity. That's really strange. Alright, well, I think we're at the point now where we're about ready to start the war up. And it's probably a pretty good place to go ahead and stop, end the episode here. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.